years of service to the San Bernardino City Unified School District, where he's cultivated a robust and groundbreaking systems for technology and music in every position that he's been in. Started as a teacher here in 2002 to 2019, was instrumental in moving forward the iSTEAM lab at Bing Wong Elementary School, and has been currently serving as a program specialist in expanded learning. Has the vote of confidence from the staff and every student that he has ever come into contact with. Board, I introduce you to Mr. Robert Ruff.
Good evening, President Ceballos, Vice President Grande, members of the board, Superintendent Arellano, and Cabinet. I am truly honored to stand before you tonight as a new expanded learning coordinator for the San Bernardino City Unified School District. Having served in this district for 23 years, I have seen firsthand the impact that engaging, high-quality, expanded learning opportunities can have on our students. Expanded learning is not just what happens before and after school. It's about opening doors to new possibilities for our students. Guided by the leadership of EXL Director Ann Pearson, my focus will be on strengthening enrichment programming, ensuring that every student has access to hands-on, innovative learning experiences that ignite curiosity and develop real-life problem-solving skills. I'm excited to collaborate with our incredible staff, community partners, and families to create expanded learning environments where students can explore, innovate, and grow. Thank you for your trust in me. I look forward to this next chapter of service to our students and community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Roof, and welcome to your new position. And thank you for your many, many years of service. 6.2, certificated non-reelects. Be it resolved, the Board of Education approves. Has determined on an individual basis that the following certificated employees be given notice prior to March 15, 2025, that their employment with the district not be renewed for the 25-26 school year pursuant to Education Code 44929.21, and the superintendent or his designee is hereby authorized to give written notice of this action prior to March 15, 2025, pursuant Ed Code 44929.21. Be it resolved, can I get a motion? So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Medina, second by Mr. Tillman. Vote, please. Motion passes. 6.3. Be it resolved, the Board of Education has determined that the following classified employees be given notice prior to March 15, 2025, effective at the end of the 24-25 school year. The superintendent or his designee is hereby authorized to give written notice of this action pursuant Government Code 54957.
Moved.
Second. Moved by Mr. Tillman, second by Ms. Medina. Vote, please. Motion passes. 6.4, approval of revised job description, benefits manager. The benefits manager, under the supervision of the risk management. Oh, I apologize. We had pulled that item. 6.5, expulsion of students. Be it resolved, the Board of Education accepts and adopts the findings of the hearing panel based on a review of the panel's findings of facts and recommendations, and orders the expulsion of the following students with the identification number as listed below in accordance with the board rules and regulations and in compliance with Education Code Section 48900.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Dr. Wyatt, second by Mr. Tillman. Vote, please. Motion passes. 6.6, students recommended for expulsion excluding mandatory offenses but remanded to youth court for other means of correction. Be it resolved, the Board of Education accepts and adopts the recommendation and findings of facts of positive youth development and orders the suspension or expulsion of the following students with the identification numbers as listed below in accordance with board rules and regulations and in compliance with Education Code Section 48900.
Moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Tillman and second by Ms. Alexander. Vote, please. Motion passes. 6.7, lift readmit of expulsion of students. Be it resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the readmission of the following students with the identification numbers as indicated below to schools of the San Bernardino Unified School District in accordance with the board rules and regulations and in compliance with the Education Code Section 48900. Motion, please.
Moved. Second.
Moved by Mr. Tillman, second by Mr. Santos. Vote, please. Motion passes. 6.8, other closed session action. And there is no other action. 7.0, student board members. 7.1, reports and comments. I'll start with Ms. Rosenblum.
Good evening. I am Anjanette Rosenblum and I attend Pacific High School. Some of the activities at Pacific High School are freshmen finish the CET pathway tours and mock interviews with pathway juniors and seniors to learn about our school's CET pathway opportunities to build their interviewing skills. Our HMDT diesel students are going to the IBEW apprenticeship redo tomorrow to learn about apprenticeship skills and opportunities. PHS Pacific High School's wrestling team had a student go to the Masters tournament. Pacific High School swim team set a new pool record at Liberty High School this past weekend. Students are working on CAS testing for this week for science this week. The SAT will be given later this week to our juniors starting on Thursday. And I would also like to thank Ms. Guy, she helps us. Ms. Guy is one of our teachers that helps us with, like, if you're going through anything mentally or if you need, like, help with, like, getting school funds. She was here earlier, and I would like to thank her for showing up. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rosenblum. Ms. Eden Ochoa.
Hello, it's Tatiana Eden Ochoa, and I know it's been a while since I've given a public comment, but I would like to report a bit on Cajon as well as some other schools in our district. So at Cajon, we recently had an academic awards ceremony, and many of our students were recognized for having a 3.5 GPA or above and being able to maintain that throughout the previous semester. So that's very wonderful to be upholding. The senior prom date has been set May 26th, so we're already on the hunt for dresses and suits. And a lot of seniors in our district have already purchased their cap and gown, so this is really setting in motion the whole idea of really ending our high school careers. Swim season has started, as well as Cajon will be hosting the CBSR, the Citrus Belt Beach Region State Qualifiers this weekend. So if any of the board would like to go and spectate any speech rounds, it's very entertaining. I think you guys would enjoy it. And recently I went to the government day that was held by the 5th District, Joe Baca, the district supervisor, and we saw a lot of students from the Student Leadership Advisory Council saw the inner workings of how a county meeting works, and it was very interesting, the amount of things that we saw, the concerns that were brought, very similar to like concerns brought to the school board, how they were brought to the county, and all the different levels of concerns, whether it be fires or animal shelters, or even CPS related concerns. It was students getting a better understanding as well as how they can pursue employment through the county. So that was very informational, and they gave us Subway, so that's always a plus. And then for San Bernardino High School, Saturday they had 45 of their female students, which were escorted by Ana Victoria Chavez, Principal Sosa, Mrs. Munoz Combs, Miss Moreno, and Mrs. Alvarez and Miss Moore to go see the film Rule Breakers, about an all-girls robotic team who entered an international competition. So it was a very enlightening experience for them. Middle College School is preparing for their spring festival and a club for future Wolverine healthcare, and so they're going to tour Cal State LA for their nursing school. So there's a lot of things going on in our district right now, and I just want to say that I appreciate not only the board, but I appreciate all the teachers that are currently really helping us push through either senioritis, or I know I have a freshman brother, and just like his first experience and ending his first year of high school, and all the opportunities, whether it be the events that they're hosting on campus or the school spirits that they're trying to maintain. And throughout the district, just all those who are going to be figuring out their college acceptances and where they're going to be going for the next 4 years of their life, or whether they already have a plan. I think that I just wish the best of luck to all of them. And that is it for me tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Eden Ochoa, for that wonderful update. And moving on to 8.0 administrative reports and presentations, 8.1 facilities planning and development update. I'll turn it over to Mr. Komnick.
Good evening. Thank you. Good evening, President Ceballos and Vice President Grande, Superintendent Ariano, board members, and our cabinet. I've got the pleasure tonight to introduce our speakers for the 2025 annual facilities update. But before I hand the floor over to our presenters, I wanted to share with the board that tonight's presentation really aligns with our Vision 2020, particularly the 6th pillar, the last S in shines. And there's 3 bullet points there that really, this presentation really helps shine. And particularly the last bullet, resources will be allocated to maintain and enhance 21st century learning environments. So as the team presents this, please keep that in mind. I'd like to introduce Mr. Thomas Pace, Director of Facilities, and Ms. Jennifer Dubon, the latest new team member for our Facilities Department. She is the Assistant Director. Mr. Pace?
Evening, everyone. By way of introduction, I'll keep this quick. We know that it's a late night, and we'll hopefully get through our presentation very quickly. My name is Thomas Pace, Director of Facilities. I started in the district in 2008 and have been in my current role since 2017. As mentioned, our newest employee in our department is Jennifer Dubon. Many of you may know her as she has been working and consulting with the district for the past 10 years. She actually led the efforts after North Park in the reconstruction and cleanup. And has been a mentor, has been a colleague, and a thought partner to me and the rest of our department for the past 10 years. and we're thrilled to have her join our team officially. The objectives for tonight's presentation include a few departmental accomplishments and review of our current, past, and future projects. One highlight we wanted to note was the Welcoming Resource Center contractor, Bernard's. Bernard's recently won California's Occupational Safety and Health Administrator's highest awards for safety, Cal-OSHA, the Golden Gate and Sharp Awards respectively. These awards are bestowed on only 7 job sites statewide. I want to thank every member of our build team for recognizing and embracing the idea of worker safety as a collective and individual responsibility. Additionally, tonight you approved a contract to Climatech that is going to save the district roughly $54 million in operational costs over the next 30 years. And I think we wanted to just highlight a few of the things that they're going to do, because the scope and scale of what they're going to be doing for the district over the next few years should not go unnoticed. We're going to replace 2 central plant or HVAC systems at both Riley and North Park. We're going to replace all of the evaporative furnace units with new high energy or high efficient HVAC units at 2 school sites. We're going to replace lighting at 57 school sites. Roughly 40,000 fixtures are going to be replaced. That includes exterior lights as well. We're also going to add sports lighting at Golden Valley Middle School, and we're going to add solar structures at 12 sites that includes electrical vehicle charging. So we look forward to investing in our infrastructure in the years to come.
Just to give you a brief overview of what our facilities team leads. So we are the lead in planning, development, maintenance, modifications of all our school sites. We also are heavily engaged in land acquisition. A lot of the work that we do requires interfacing with a lot of governmental agencies as well as a lot of additional partners, which we'll talk about briefly. At a glimpse, our overall school district manages over 75 school sites. Right now we have 10 administrative sites as well, and counting and growing. And we are also overseeing 2,700 classrooms. And if you take a look at overall replacement value of all of the facilities, we're in excess of $4 billion. So we do maintain, continually modernize, transform a lot of these.
To interrupt,
Yeah.
Can you speak a little bit more
Oh.
into the mic? Sorry about that.
I'm sorry about that. Okay, my apologies. But that was kind of summarizing that slide as far as the totality of the facilities that our team basically leads in developing and planning and transforming.
Over the past year, we've completed 22 projects spanning 14 different sites, including the newly renovated Performing Arts Center at San Bernardino High School and its new paint job, shown in the upper right. Recently approved projects improved our schools in key areas that include safety, athletics, visual and performing arts, career technical education, and student wellness.
Some of our projects currently in progress encompass a wide array of project types. So we do have mechanical upgrades. We have entry enhancements that also include some of the paint schemes and re-envisioning that Tom mentioned. We also have parking lot upgrades, some fencing. We are expanding our CTE project work. We have been writing the coattails of some of our successful CTE projects that have recently been completed. We also have wellness centers, athletic renovations, and new construction with the WRC as well as the Cardinal Child Center.
And if you've driven around town, I'm sure many of you have realized that by now that we've repainted a few of our schools, 20 in fact. Shown here is Cajon High School. I'm a former water polo coach at Cajon High School, so took an opportunity to brag on one of the high schools that is near and dear to my heart. We feel that truly by repainting our schools, we can contribute to making our schools the gems of the city, and also cultivating pride in our schools, which is one of the call outs in Vision 2030.
we're showcasing briefly the biomedical pathway building that was recently completed. This contains a student-based health center. We also have 5 classrooms. They vary in terms of the scope and development and access that students have for this pathway so that they get real-world experience. This is, this was a significant effort with a lot of our partners here. We had Dr. Rodriguez and her team, Colleen Williams. We also just wanted to briefly make note of the collaborative work with Dr. Raimundo on the Pacific High School site with a lot of the projects that have been ongoing and all of the CTE pathways, and just that continued partnership towards providing these transformational environments for the students.
Please note that also included in the new biomedical building is our first student-based health center. We're excited, Dr. Rodriguez and I are excited to let you all know that starting the 10th of this month, we're going to start offering services from our first student-based health center. And there's more to come, I know, from her division on that. The other part of Vision 2030 is a commitment to prepare our students for success in the workforce. Highlighted here are 2 of the district's newest CTE facilities, a dental pathway at Cajon High School and the hospitality and tourism pathway at San Gregorio High School. Of note, the hospitality and tourism facility is the state's first all-electric educational kitchen and was recognized by the state architect and the Architects Institute of America for its commitment to sustainability. We firmly believe this investment goes a long way in contributing to the mission of 2030. On the campus of San Bernardino High School, in the old agricultural area, you will now find the district's newest facility, set for completion later this spring, an early education center that will serve multiple grade levels, infant, toddler, preschool, and transitional kindergarten. The center is recently named after one of our city's most deserving citizens, Francis Grice. Has a focus on exploration, outdoor education, and a commitment to the idea of wellness. The building meets the country's highest levels of sustainability, LEED Platinum and Living Building Challenge, certified respectively. The buildings will be San Bernardino's first net zero and carbon neutral project. And by the way, I just have to point out in the lower right-hand corner, it's one of my favorite things on the new building is our play equipment that children can crawl in, but it's a large cardinal making its own nest. I look forward to showing each and every one of you. Everything is built with the idea of the child in mind, so the sinks, the restrooms, everything is set towards children height, and it's truly a wonderful facility. In 2017, June of 2017, to be exact, we started a conversation with our parents about the idea of a centralized enrollment center. Many of you were there. At one of those meetings, we asked the parents to draw the vision of what the Welcoming Resource Center would look like. And I kept one of those all these years, and I just wanted to show that to you this evening. I love how it says filled with love. And I've kept it ever since. And we do recognize the importance that parents play in the educational system. We know that one of the key drivers to academic success is an engaged parent. And for the past 10 years, we've worked tirelessly to make the investment in our parents and to show them that we recognize their important role in our educational system. And we look forward in the next couple months, as Jennifer's going to talk about the Welcoming Resource Center, to opening the building and to honoring those parents, and hopefully its mission accomplished. You'll notice they drew a 2-story building. It's grown a little bit from the original idea to a 3-story building. And here we just want to show some of the renderings of what it will look like.
I want to make note about the 6 pillars as well and how some of that is reflected here. One of the main drivers, even with SBC USD Strong, this idea of belonging, this idea of having representation. And so a lot of that you'll see kind of distributed throughout the building, both in the exterior environment and the interior. There's going to be showcase of student artwork. There's going to be civil rights leaders that are incorporated as well. So giving that sense of belonging, having the involvement of students, family, community, and staff. This is a community space. This is intended to be welcoming and inspiring, and to lead parents through that process of enrolling their students, assessing their students, ensuring that we're setting them up for success. From the original meetings in 2017, a lot of it was driven about this idea of equity and access and having all of these resources within one location. That way, access is a little bit more attainable for the families here in the community that we have here. And then obviously just having a safe and secure and attractive learning environment. I know the team within the last 10 years has prided itself in providing that, and really, through the paint projects, through a lot of the transformations, I think a lot of that culminates with this building as well.
And we know we originally promised that this building would have been finished a couple years ago. Obviously, COVID set us back, but it's overdue, and we are just excited to get everyone in the building. Upcoming projects. Here you can see that we continue to invest in our students in a wide range of investments. We continue to focus on athletics. We continue to focus on our visual and performing arts. We will be concluding the last phase of Pacific High School, the Performing Arts Center and Student Center, and I will tell you, I think that a lot of the transformation there has been amazing, but I think the best is yet to come. And as mentioned earlier, we're going to continue to invest in our infrastructure so that we can become more efficient and we can contribute to the general fund in ways that we can continue to invest in our students. And that brings us to our team.
All of this work really takes a community to build, and so we wouldn't be here without our facilities team. We do have some new members, me being the most recent one, but we do want to acknowledge some in the audience as well, showing their support, as well as those that are watching us streaming online. But Toby is one of our new managers. He's the facilities use manager, and we also have Charles, that's a new member to the team. Those not pictured here, we also have a lot of interdepartmental partners that we work with to bring these facilities to fruition. We have governmental agencies that we interface with. We have community members, family members, students, contractors. We really are in the thousands of people in order to bring these projects to reality.
And I think Jennifer brings up a really good point that shouldn't be lost, that on a daily basis, we have over 2,000 people working to improve our facilities. And that is a feat in communication. And we are thrilled with the trust that you give us. We love serving this board and the vision that this board has, that every child matters, that every parent matters, and that every staff member matters. And we try to contribute the best way we can, day in and day out. And that brings us to the end of our presentation. If you have any questions, we're willing to field them.
I'll go Dr. Wyatt.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Tom, to you and the team. And Jennifer, welcome aboard. And Toby back there, thank you always. I know you're often the guy behind the scenes, but you always show up when we need you at the right time. So great presentation. I love just what we're doing here in San Bernardino City Unified School District. I will say this openly, and I love saying this, that we continue to be the pinnacle of change in this city. Definitely transform our city. I got to go see some of the facilities. I'll talk about more in my board comments. But wow, for the colleagues, if you haven't been to some of these facilities, they're amazing. I know we talked about world class before on certain things, and we are definitely hitting that on our facilities. I can't wait for that Welcome Resource Center. That's gonna be amazing. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Ms. Grande.
Thank you for that. That's really inspiring and wonderful, especially when I love how you ended. We seek to help all children, all scholars, and that starts me because I don't see Anderson School up there. I don't see that's our children. That's Carl and Dora Anderson. I don't see CID. What's going to happen with our CID? You know me already. I have questions and all that. So just throw me a line here. Give me some hope.
Well, ma'am, you're part of the facilities subcommittee.
I am.
And it is a topic that we look forward to talking with you and planning those items with you.
Thank you, sir.
Ms. Medina?
Definitely the state of art. First of all, I want to thank you both for presenting, and thank you, Jennifer, for coming on board. And just to see the picture of all the staff members and just seeing the diversity within that, I mean that's what our district is about, is bringing the best and brightest and having a diverse team. So, and looking at the buildings, it's just so beautiful. The ones that are upcoming, the ones that are currently finished. And I don't know how we're not in every magazine. I know we've been in a few, but this is just amazing, the work that we're doing. And I look forward to the continued work that your amazing team is doing. So thank you.
Ms. Alexander?
Thank you so much for a great presentation. I like the format. I like the fact that you started off with your highlights and then moved into just all of the fact sheet and then the projects. And welcome, Jennifer, again. Nice to meet you today. Thank you to your whole team that's out there. So the three gentlemen, thank you for being here. I have a couple questions about the highlights, and it's more of when I think about our partnership with Climatic. Are we working with the city at all? I know this is our partnership, but do we have any type of collaboration with the city?
Yes, currently we are working very closely with the economic development portion of the city. There is more to come on some issues related to land out of that partnership. As far as the way of energy efficiency, we haven't gotten into that end of the relationship yet, but we are working very closely with the city. We collaborate probably bi-weekly on different issues throughout the city. There's areas that we could improve on and vice versa, but in the areas of energy efficiency, no. But in the areas of land acquisition, street improvements, you'll see a lot more to come out of those relationships.
Right, okay, thank you. And I, on those same lines, I think that it would be good if we can go to the city and let them see the great things that we're doing in our school district, because I don't know if the city knows. We see the schools and how beautiful they are and the paint jobs that we've done and how it instills a lot of pride, but I think it would be good for us to let them see and hear from you and your team of the great things that we're doing.
One of the things, I'm not shy about the work of our department. I have a good team behind me. Trust me, I let the city know all the time, all the good things that are occurring. Invite them out. They actually attended the ribbon cutting at Sierra High School, and vice versa. They're doing a lot of good things on the other end, and we will continue to talk about the great things of our city.
And I'm talking on a larger scale. But I'm not done yet, Myra. I have a couple other things. Yeah, just the replacement value. I was trying to make sure. Can you just kind of explain that one more time? Because I might have missed something.
Yeah, so when we look at replacement value, so on that, it was the third slide in that Jennifer talked about. We showed you that we have roughly 4 million square feet of buildings. The cost of construction these days is roughly $1,000 a square foot. For educational facilities. So for every square foot that we build, it costs us roughly $1,000. So when we look at if in some odd circumstance we lost every building, we lost to total destruction, the cost to replace what we had would exceed $4 billion.
Got it. Thank you. And then lastly, I just want to say I am super proud of what I see. I think the last one was Arroyo, where I saw just how beautiful the school is. But then, as we drive around, it just instills a lot of pride and just really happy just to see the changes. And it wasn't in a short period of time, at least from what I could see in my 2 years of being on the board. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And yeah, I also want to kind of echo, thank you for the wonderful presentation and welcome Jennifer and the newly on board team members in your department for the great presentation. And I also look forward to seeing in person some of these. I know I've visited as of recent Pacific auto shop diesel mechanic area. That was wonderful. And I recently also just went to Sanji and got a tour of their kitchen facility over there. So really, really impressive. So yeah, thank you so much. Continue the great work.
Telling Sanji that they owe us a few burritos and a couple salads, but out of the new kitchen, but they haven't come through yet.
Nice. Mr. Ariano.
Yeah, I just want to say, board, thank you for acknowledging the work that this team has done. I mean, they get all the credit. Thank you guys for the vision, but they get all the credit. They have been doing amazing work, and thank you, Board Member Alexander, for saying in 2 years. You're right. In the 2 years that we've been here, it is unbelievable how much that department has done to make our district shine, and I really appreciate it, Tom, and your staff. I mean, when we say kids deserve the very best, as Dr. Wyatt said, we're walking the talk, and I really do appreciate it. And I tell you, I'm in awe. When I think about being here as a high school student back in the day in the 80s, and I see what we've given our kids, I'm just, it makes me emotional. I'm just so damn proud. Am I allowed to say that? Can I say damn? I'm just so damn proud of what we do together for their kids and give them the very best. And to Mrs. Alexander's point, I'm going to work with Mayor Tran to see if we can be granted some time at a city council meeting to do a presentation and have them see at least photo first and maybe invite them as a tour, because this is not the norm in school districts across the state. So great job, everybody. Appreciate you very much, very much.
Thank you. Let's see. We're down to 9.0 board discussion. 9.1 California State University San Bernardino Alumni Hall of Fame sponsorship. And this item was brought back, if you all remember, from last agenda board meeting. Ms. Grande?
All right, I'm just going to go over some reasons that I feel that it does actually fall within the parameters of our policy. So that's my contention. So I'm going to give you some a little bit of direction here. Among the things that they make contribution, aside from being one of our main partners, aside from being our university right in our own neighborhood, to be a university town is huge, and we can never not realize how vital they are, important, and things that we may not even understand. But I'm going to give you a few. There's the Upward Bound program, where our high schools coordinated to ensure the students get direct support in applying to colleges, right? There's the high school university program. Our high schools have several courses that are directly aligned and get college credits while in high school. There's Gear Up, where we are supporting their grant application, which will help cohorted groups of students into college. Those are just a few. I have some more that I had Miss Rogers help me with, and then Miss Sandra reminded me also there was the Kinder Camineta that they do for the that's for Valley College. Did they not go to Cal State? Didn't they used to go with Dr. Tom Rivera? Yeah, way back in the day, Dr. Tom Rivera started that years ago, and I think we should start that up again. Also, I remember back in the day, we used to have the Nutcracker that we used to hold in conjunction with Hillside Elementary. I know that because my daughter Gabby went, and she couldn't wait to get to 6th grade so she could finally be the last one. I forget what it was, the soldiers or something, and then they ended the program. I like to bring that back up. Also, let's see. Also, how could we forget our relationship with the late great Al Carnegie and the Early Education Kit program, which I believe is still in existence, right? And then also there's our own Grow Our Own Teacher program that we connect with San Bernardino USD and teachers. Also, we have many alumni teachers. We have many alumni from from Cal State here. We have teachers who began in our city schools as students, went to their hometown college, and then continued to come back here and work and inspire scholars. And also, we do also connect using their facilities. My favorite is the Judy Rodriguez and James Watson College of Education. That was renamed to honor Judy's surname of Rodriguez. And she is a first in her class, in her field. She had a wonderful background. I won't go into that yet, but I remember the special education had the most beautiful conference there. One of the first ones they'd ever had, and they had it there at that facility. It was just fantastic. So for all that reasons and above, and I'm sure there's many other reasons across there, I really would strongly ask the board to consider the gold sponsorship for the $5,000.
Thank you so much. And then I just also want to add that Ms. Cunningham did reach out to them directly to, get a little bit more of information. And I don't know if it's on your end, on your screens, but they replied indicating that all proceeds will support student success through funds established in the Alumni Relations Office. This encompasses everything from providing scholarships to regalia. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but okay, thank you. Grants to programming that supports students' persistence and retention. So unless there's any more discussion, I will ask for a motion if that is what the board wishes.
So made.
Second. For 5,000.
Okay, so we have a motion from Ms. Grande and a second from Dr. Wyatt for the gold sponsor. Then we'll vote. The motion passed. Moving on to 10.0 action items. (10.1) personnel report number 14 dated March 4, 2025, which contains actions such as hiring, retirements, resignations, promotions, and terminations.
Presented.
Thank you. Be it resolved, the Board of Education approves personnel report number 14 dated March 4, 2025 as presented.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Dr. Wyatt, second by Ms. Alexander. Vote, please.
Ms. Rosales Medina and Dr. Wyatt?
I didn't get it, but it's aye.
Motion passed. 10.2, adoption of resolution directing district staff to solicit public input on proposed modification of grade span configuration of George Brown Junior Elementary School for future board consideration and action.
Move.
Moved by Dr. Wyatt, second by Mr. Santos. Vote, please.
Ms. Ceballos, Ms. Rosales Medina, Dr. Wyatt?
It just popped up.
Did you get mine? I put yes.
Dr. Wyatt?
Aye.
Motion passed. 10.3, approval of the Career Technical Education Advisory Committee.
Move.
Moved by Dr. Wyatt,
Second.
second by Ms. Medina. Ms. Alexander?
Yes, I actually have a question. I'm not familiar with this advisory committee for one, and perhaps I missed a discussion about it. And then two, I'm just trying to be clear about why do we have a technical committee, and should the technical committee that's focused on our pathways represent holistically what we're trying to do from a career development standpoint when we look at our pathways?
Ms. Alexander, it is an ed code that we are to establish a committee for our CTE pathways, and it is representative of community members, staff members. It's a well-rounded representation. So it is required.
Is Karen Suarez still with Making Hope Happen?
No, Dr. Rodriguez is saying that she is not, so there must be a different person. We can update that.
No.
Okay, I'll check with Dr. Venkatesan and see if we have an updated list. Thank you.
All right. We had a, did you catch the motion in second? Vote, please. Motion passes. 10.4, adoption of 2025-2026 Board of Education meeting calendar. Are there any comments?
I think we'd entertain a motion, then have discussion, right?
Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Medina, and then second by Dr. Wyatt. Discussion?
I recommend we pull up the counter and take a look and make sure if there's any potential conflicts for next year. I'm sure that district took that into consideration, but I know sometimes we have some board meetings that conflict with certain events.
Do you want to all pull it up real quick?
Yeah.
Ms. Alexander?
I looked at it. It looks like it's similar to what we had this year, so I don't have any concerns.
Thank you.
It's hard to foresee. It's hard to foresee what we're gonna end up having. So, but I looked at my calendar. Seems like everything's clear.
All right. Vote, please. Motion passed. 10.5, 2025 California School Boards Association Delegate Assembly election. The official ballot for the election of representatives to CSBA's Delegate Assembly has been received and must be postmarked on or before March 15, 2025 because of our large student enrollment. The San Bernardino City Unified School District board has already appointed 2 representatives. There are 5 vacancies in San Bernardino County Subregion 16B. The board as a whole may vote for no more than 5 representatives. And below are the following 6 individuals that are as candidates for the vacancies.
Madam President, I motion that we vote for the 5 incumbents.
Do you want to list them?
They're the ones that have the asterisks next to them. Maria Gomez from Hesperia, Ronald Newton from Mountain View, Dr. Gwen Daddy Rogers from San Diego County Office of Ed, Eric Swanson for Hesperia USD, and Kathy Thompson from Central Elementary School District.
Do I have a second? Motion by Dr. Wyatt, second by Ms. Alexander. Vote, please. Motion passed. 11.0 consent items. 11.1 approval of consent list. Can I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Moved by Dr. Wyatt, second by Ms. Medina. Ms. Felicia, Ms. Alexander.
I need to pull or excuse myself from 11.10.
All
I'll
right.
have to abstain for that.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the number.
11.10.
Thank you.
11.10.
Anyone else? All right, so can we vote on every other item?
Let me just ask a quick question. Ms. Alexander, are you just going to recuse yourself on there? Okay.
So we'll go ahead and vote on the remaining ones. Motion passed. And then now we'll go ahead and vote on 11.10.
Actually, we need a motion.
I'm sorry, you're right. Can I get a motion for 11.10?
So move.
Second.
Dr. Wyatt motioned and Ms. Medina second. Vote, please. Motion passed. Moving on to 12.0 reports and comments by union organizations. 12.1 San Bernardino Teachers Association.
No report.
12.2 California School Employees Association.
No report.
12.3 Communications Workers of America.
No report.
12.4 San Bernardino School Police Officers Association.
And no report.
Thank you. 13.0 reports and comments. 13.1 board member comments, and I'll go ahead and start with Ms. Medina.
Just excited to be here. That's it. Thank you.
Hey, Ms. Felicia.
Hello. I'd like to first start off with just congratulating our HR department for having a fantastic, under Dr. Funches, having a fantastic hiring fair. Awesome job. I understand there was over 900 plus people who came in and applied, and looking forward to the great numbers. I think it speaks a lot about our district because people see us and they want to be a part of us. So thank you. I guess, it was an honor to go to the Dr. Hill's dedication of the post office. It was a really nice event and extremely special. I want to say thank you to Congressional Representative Pete Aguilar and then the Maggie Foundation for making it happen. I think what was really special was all the great things that were said about Dr. Hill, and it says a lot about a person when everybody that is centered around her in different circles has said something nice and the impact that she's made. And that says a lot about a person. And we can only hope that we can make that impact because we only have between birth and death. So that dash is so important. And the very fact that she was able to capture and impact so many lives says a lot about her. So, and then other than that, I attended Natural Hair Day, which was really cool under the ETSA department. It's bigger than the title, meaning it's about natural hair, but it's about the impact and what it means to just that individual and the authenticity that we bring when we come forward and when we interact with others. So kudos to Lawrence Hardy and the ETSA team and under Dr. Will Greer for all that you're doing for the community, because it was an event that started in mid-morning and into the afternoon. And from the pictures, I was there in the morning, but from the pictures, I could see that it really grew in terms of the community size. But what was more important was just the environment and the engagement that takes place, and it's very impressive. Richardson Prep Middle School, their honor roll and their African American honor roll, and then just their African American, I think, participation. Both Michael and I were there, and Mary Ellen. It was great. It was just a really good event. I know the principal was here today, and I told her I congratulate her on such a great event. And then lastly, the Black History Bee. That was amazing. Put on by Phi Delta Kappa, and just the matter of just the history behind that and the number of years that has been happening. And from what I understand, I don't believe there's any other organization, sorority, fraternity within the Inland Empire that does something like that. And then the participation was very diverse. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Alexander. Ms. Grande?
I too had a really exciting last week, and I was there to see the Margaret Hill dedication. I just was in the back because I had another appointment, so I had to leave a little early, sadly, but I followed it. And thank you, Scott, for your beautiful words. You made me cry, and I was in the audience. We could really feel her, and it's just plain and simple. We felt her there, and she's very happy. And that earlier that morning, I also saw many of the, I was going to say usual suspects, but I saw many of the same people earlier that day at Ingram Elementary School for their event there. They called it the Parents and Community Partners High Five, and it was like mob like times 10, and it was just amazing. They made me go through that tunnel and scream at me and yell, and I could see why the kids are like stone shocked going down there. It was scary. But the Sue Chi Foundation was there, and they were in costume like vegetables. They were just they're such beautiful people, and parents, and they had a huge turnout. And I think we had our police chief was there, Mayor Tran was there, Supervisor Joe Baca was there, the EXL, Community Engagement, Positive Youth, Inland Empire Book Project. It was just a little tiny school, and it just spilled out in the little pieces of, and the principal, what is her name? I'm sorry, beautiful woman. What's her name? She had on a gold lame satin dress. I really felt underdressed, and I never feel that way. It was a beautiful day, and I just loved that school. I'm gonna have to go back. And so they were right next door to my favorite group at the WA at the subacute. So I stopped by to say hello to all my ladies and told them don't give up hope because it's right around the corner, I think. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Grande. Dr. Wyatt?
2 minutes and 50 seconds. I hope that was Ms. Grande. I'm just kidding. I have a little bit to say, so I'll try to make it as quick as possible. I had the pleasure today of being on a Seminary County Superintendent Student Advisory Panel. You heard Dr. Rogers talk a little bit about that, and met with students from Pacific, Indian Springs High School, Samuel High School, and wow, I just want to say they did an amazing job, first of all, on their presentations. They were attacking some high-level topics as mental health, wellness, and some of our students even present on MTSS and the three-tiered system. I said, wow, you guys know a lot more than probably some of our staff do, including myself on this. So I'm really, really impressed. They did bring up some issues that we probably are aware of in our school, but it's always nice to hear it from the students because we hear it from their point of view and from their lens. And You know, one of them, they talked about counselors, but they didn't really understand the difference between counselors, meaning academic, and counselors as in clinicians. So, you know, one of the things I asked is that, are you aware of you have any clinicians at your sites? And so that was one of my questions is, you know, how many clinicians do we have like at our high schools and middle schools? So if we could get that info, like Friday update, doesn't have to be right now, that'd be great. And then get that information out to our students and the families so they know they're there. And then students in bathrooms. You know, I think we've heard a little bit about that, probably too much about that right now, but they mentioned a lot of smoking during passing periods and that it's hard just to use a restroom because there's so many kids in there smoking and just taking up the stalls, as they would say. And so they have a fear of going in there. And this was a constant message across the board. And it was not just, it was kind of interesting, not just in our high school, but other high schools. I was like, wow, that's kind of epidemic. So, you know, I think that's something we need just to be very aware of, and how are we monitoring that and making sure that our bathrooms are safe and there for what they should be there, using the bathroom, and so they don't have to ask during a break. And they talked about student behavior as well, student behavior on campus in the classrooms, and that, you know, they feel that there's no repercussions, no consequences for kids that are misbehaving. I said, I absolutely agree with you. There's a lot less now than there were before. And that's where we rolled into the conversation of MTSS and PBIS and things we're trying to do to really curtail behavior. But, you know, and they felt that our teachers were pretty much powerless in many situations, that it was hard for them to address behavior and sometimes a sense of hopelessness. So I said, I'll definitely bring that up to the board and to, you know, district, because, you know, we want to support our teachers and we want to have a safe place, a productive learning environment for our kids. But that came from them, and I thought that was really powerful to hear that from them. So much that I'm going back on Thursday to hopefully get to hear from more kids and see if we have that uniform message across the board. And then the one biggie that they talked about was access to health care for students and families. I think this district does an amazing job actually on providing healthcare opportunities, all the way from telehealth to dentistry, you name it. And I think maybe it's just the message getting out there, right? Making sure that our families and students know about it so they have access to that. Because, you know, 9 out of 10 families in our county stated that they have difficulty accessing healthcare. I was like, wow, that is a lot, 90%, right? You would think that's not the case, but it is. And so I thought that was a really important statistic that we were aware of. One of them I already talked to Ms. Ceballos and Mr. Pace, and then did a quick tour of Pacific High School again, their biomed program, civic engagement program they have with Cal Berkeley, and their transportation program. And I know we talked a little bit about tonight, and man, all I could say is if you haven't seen those facilities, they're unbelievable. As Superintendent Ariano said, I haven't seen anything like that. They truly are world class, and you talk about a lab and teaching environment that is just at the highest level. I would put that at the collegiate level when you see it. And the transportation shop is just wow. I got a little emotional about it because I said, you know, it'd make Mike Gallo proud. You know, Mike Gallo would really be proud to see that shop and what we're doing with kids and getting them prepared, you know, when they come out of high school. And you know, we heard a lot of people talk about not everybody wants to go to college, and they talked about that today. I said, great, because we're setting up programs to where you can come out of high school and you'll be ready. So I challenge us to keep going down that CTE path. San Bernardino High School, we saw them. The water polo team went to their banquet on Friday night. It was awesome at Garner Holt. Great ceremony. I want to say a shout out to Mark Chow. Donated all these awesome gifts for our kids. Every kid walked out with a skateboard and freaking cornhole games. I don't know what you call it. One beanbag game I call it. But it was just a great event. And I'll tell you what, that coach over there is absolutely amazing. Should have been CIF Coach of the Year. That's a whole other conversation we'll have separately, but they did a heck of a job. And then it's tough. The naming of the post office after Dr. Hill. That was such an amazing event. And our communications folks, our staff, great job. Our kids from Del Vallejo, STEAM, Middle School, Hunt Elementary, Cajon. Super proud day. I know she was smiling down on us, just saying, very proud of all of us. But a very emotional moment, and it was an honor to be able to speak on behalf of the district, and for you, Superintendent Ariano. I do appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wyatt. Mr. Santos? Thank you. And for myself, I just, there's really just two things I wanted to mention. I wanted just to say, you know, great job to the mariachi performers that came out earlier. It just really warms my heart. So for those of you that don't know, my family is actually from Jalisco, which is where they claim that mariachi originated from. It's really not known exactly where, but then later on, Jalisco was the state that kind of adopted and expanded mariachi. So I grew up listening to mariachi, and I absolutely love it. It's like music to my soul. So I don't know a lot of sometimes English songs or things like that. I feel like my culture is really Spanish based. And so you tell me any song in Spanish or anything like that, and I'm on it. Like, I'll tell you, I know all the songs. I was singing along. So it really, really just warms my heart. And I want to make sure that we continue to support, them in particular, the mariachi group. I think Dr. Wyatt had mentioned it earlier. It was kind of and Ms. Medina, a work in progress. It was something that was, kind of a long time overdue. So I really, really, really do hope that they can come back and we can see, them, continue to grow and expand. And I also saw some diversity within the group, so that really made me happy as well. So anyway, just wanted to share that. And then also I wanted to make a comment really quickly in regards to the facilities and the presentation that we received. Again, awesome job. And, I think we're doing a fantastic job with some of these facilities. But I did want to mention something that was brought up to me, and I think it's already been shared with Mr. Komnick as well as Mr. Arellano, but really keeping in mind that with the expansion comes additional work, right, for our custodial staff, making sure that we're really, preparing and staying ahead of the game when it comes to what that is going to entail and what that's going to bring on the workload on our staff at the school site level. So just wanted to make sure that I addressed that and I threw it out there because it's great on the one hand, but we really want to make sure that we're staying on top of it on the other end. And I think those are all my comments for tonight. So I'll go ahead and pass it along to Mr. Arellano.
Thank you, President Ceballos, and good evening to everybody. So I take it you're not a Swiftie? Yeah, just mariachi, no Swiftie, just mariachi. Okay, very good. All right, very good. Learned something new today. Well, I wanted to start off, and this is a combined thank you from me and everyone on the board to our translating team is here every board meeting. Thank you guys for all the work that you do. Thank you very much. And I was going to give Jim Cunningham kudos, but then he got up and left, so I'm not going to do it. But he's here almost every to the end, so I'm gonna give him a half shout out. Is that okay, Terry? A half shout out to Jim Cunningham. So getting to the serious stuff. Scott, thank you for your comments at the Margaret Hill celebration of the post office. So many people reached out to me to let me know how moving your words were, how meaningful, how authentic, and so I just want to thank you for representing us well and making our district shine. And Dr. Hill had a huge impact on many people in this community. And, everybody has their own story, as I do. I met Dr. Hill when I was a student at Samuel High School. So, I have many funny stories of Dr. Hill. But when we talk about legacy, there was an award named after her in AXA. And when you talk about impact, 3 out of the 4 winners so far, so it's been 4 years, 3 out of the 4 winners are people from this district, Scott, Keisha, and myself. And that's a tribute to Dr. Hill and what she poured into us, and people recognize that we're emulating that love for our community. So thank you, Scott. Your words were impactful and felt across the entire district. As always, as tradition, I like to highlight great things that are happening in the San Marino City Unified School District. So I want to start off giving a shout out to our school police who not only are they keeping our campuses safe and our students safe and our staff safe, but they also make time to connect and create relationships with our students. And here you see an example of district police doing the job shadowing opportunity during career day or career week at Indian Springs High School. But an opportunity for our students to learn about a career that is important, that they can work in our district. There are other opportunities than just being, an educator. There are other roles in the district. So, Chief, thank you for making your team available and creating those relationships with our students. That's probably the most important part of the job, is those relationships with kids and making them feel safe amongst our police officers. So thank you and your team for that. Next slide. And I know we mentioned Ingram and the work that Ms. Goodley has done there in terms of creating a sense of belonging and building parent capacity. Here's another example. Cole Elementary, they recently had their math night, and it was a very successful night, and you can see parents and kids working together. And I share this because this is the work that the district is doing as part of the 2030 SBCUSD Shines vision, is we talk about creating a sense of belonging. We talk about empowering our parents and having them learn how to navigate the educational system, but also focusing on academics. It sends a message. So kudos to everybody at Cole Elementary, to the principal, the staff, for putting this night together. Another example of how the district is working to empower our parents, but also to make academics an important conversation in this district. Next slide. Truly enjoyed this event, the ribbon cutting ceremony for our wellness center at Sierra High School. And I can't say enough. I want to give Principal Hector Murieta and Counselor Yesenia Ceballos a lot of credit. This moment was started at what I heard 7 or 8 years ago on a dream of what we could put together to support our kids with all the needs that they need in order to be successful in the academic program. And as was mentioned, every time we have events like this, to see the community show up, the mayor, our elected officials, community members, our support team from Loma Linda University, and Dr. Maya, is it Bustani? Is that how you say her name, Dr. Rodriguez? Bustani. And then all the work you and your team are doing. Just a great day in San Bernardino and just a wonderful event. So I'm really proud and happy for our team over at Sierra High School. Great event. If you haven't had a chance to go over and look at the building, wonderful building, a wonderful place where our students are going to get much needed support. Next slide. And it was mentioned already, kudos to our HR department, to Marcus, Robert, and everybody in your department. It was a great event. And I understand the work that goes behind this day. That used to be my job for 3 years, is putting together that teacher recruitment center. And there's a lot of moving pieces, Marcus. So you guys make it look easy. You make it look glamorous, but we recognize the work behind that. But to the point that Ms. Alexander made, to hear that 900 people want to come work in our district, I just want to give kudos to everybody across the district, because you guys are creating that energy that people want to be here. So, Marcus, thank you. Please pass on our thanks to your team. Great job on that. Next slide. And also was mentioned the Black History Bee, National Sorority of Phi Delta Kappa, Delta Rho Chapter. Beautiful event. Dr. Handy did a great job emceeing the event. It was so wonderful to see, I say some of my old timers that I worked with back in the day, Pat Williams, longtime counselor in the district, Latrice Johnson, who she and I worked together in Palm Springs and in Redlands, Ruth Curry, who was one of my teachers when I was a principal and then was a vice principal for me when I was a principal. Just 3 wonderful people that a lot of my success, as I mentioned that morning, is because of people like them that poured into me. So it was a nice reunion, but great event. I was sitting next to Miss Alexander, and I got teary-eyed. I remember interviewing with the board the day I interviewed, and one of the questions was asked is, what's one challenge in this community that as a superintendent you want to try to impact? And if you might remember, my answer was bringing the community together as one. Latino community, African American community, white community, so on. And seeing the diversity of the contestants, learning about Black history, and just brought tears to my eyes, because that's what community is all about, is that love for each other there's opportunities like this and events like this that bring us together where we can celebrate our differences. So I was very proud to be there that morning and to see and to make the statement. Black history is American history. And we wanted to be very clear on that and very intentional about that. So it was a great moment for me. So thank you to the sorority for that. And thank to all our principals that brought our students to be a part of that and being a part of this program. It was a very, very good moment for me. So next slide. And I just wanted to let the board know that we continue to have our Superintendent's Parent Advisory Council meet every month. And I try to make as many as sometimes I can't make the meeting, and Dr. Gonzalez Beatriz, she does a great job running those meetings and managing those meetings. But I wanted the board to know that this continues. And this is a powerful group, and it's so nice. They had the opportunity to give input on the LCAP that comes directly to me. They give input on different topics throughout the year that comes to me that we wrestle with, either in cabinet or when we meet with the individual parent chairs of the different groups. But this is another example of the district continuing to create that two-way communication. You might remember that's part of our multi-year vision, is creating that two-way communication with our parents and making sure they have input in our district. So the SPAC is alive and well, but I want to give big kudos to Dr. Gonzalez Beatriz. She just does a great job putting that together. Next slide. And tonight I'm going to end with honoring one of our own. Each year, Senator Eloise Gomez-Reyes seeks nominations for the Distinguished Woman of the Year Award. And Ashley notified me today that she is one of the 2025 winners of that award. So I just want to formally congratulate Ashley and thank her for all her contributions and helping our district shine. And that's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and congratulations to Miss Ashley Bersakala. Moving on to 14.0, summary of board members' requests. 14.1, review of requests.
Good evening. For tonight, we only have one, and it's from Mr. Tillman. Mr. Tillman requested to agendize the policy about head lice at the next board meeting. Consensus was given. Thank you.
Thank you. And 15.0, meeting adjournment. 15.1. In memoriam, the board would like to recognize and close the board meeting with a moment of silence in memory of former district employee who recently passed away, Angela G. Alvino, a SBCUSD teacher for 39 years. Started her career in 1970 as a teacher at Fremont Elementary. Her teaching career took her to Shannon Hills Middle School from 1974 to 1979. Then to Golden Valley Middle School, San Bernardino High School, and Arrowview Middle School. Ms. Alvino's last assignment was at San Gregorio High School from 1983 until her retirement in June of 2009. Ms. Alvino recently passed away at the age of 84. She will be fondly remembered by those who knew her and the students she taught. David Hardy, SBCUSD teacher, passed away on September 19th, 2024 at the age of 66. Mr. Hardy taught for 24 years, beginning at Del Vallejo Middle School in August of 2000, where he remained until June of 2015 when he moved to Sierra High School, where he taught until his passing. Mr. Hardy will be missed and remembered by those he worked with and those he taught. Timothy Moore worked for SBCUSD as a grounds worker with maintenance and operations from January 2020 to January 2025. Mr. Moore passed away at the age of 57 on January 23rd, 2025. He will be remembered by his family and friends and greatly missed by his fellow M&O staff. A moment of silence. .2, adjournment.
Moved.
Moved by Ms. Medina and second by Dr. Wyatt.